Hello and welcome to another episode of The Eden's Gem. It's good to see you. Can you believe it? We are almost at the end of the first month of 2024. I can't believe it. I'm excited to be counted among the living, and I hope you are too. If this is the first time you're coming across this channel, thank you for stopping by. I hope you stick around till the end to hear the gems that are being dropped. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming in. We are asking that you don't just watch the videos and go, but you like, and if you're new, to subscribe to it as well. As always, we want to thank our production team, Blessed Production and Eyes Have Not Seen. Listen, they keep me going, they keep me in check. The struggle is real, y'all. Sometimes I'm tired, but they keep me going. So please give a shout out to them. Let me see in the comments um, as you're giving your shout out. Don't just thumb it. Give a word to them and let me know those that are actually paying attention to what we're sharing here. I hope the year has started well for you. Recently, I asked a few people if there's one word you can use to describe how 2024 has started for you, what would that word be? Excitement. Some people are saying challenging. Some people are saying adventurous. But some people are saying it started off as a battle. And I agree with that. But how do we fight our battles as Christians? This is a faith-based community, so we know that the weapons, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but they are spiritual. So we fight spiritual, but we also fight carnal as well. Today we are talking about how do I become a peculiar gemstone. I was recently, as a gemologist, I know I haven't used that term in a while, but as we are coming to the wrap of January 2024, I want us to become that peculiar people, a peculiar nation, a royal priesthood that the Bible calls us to be. And I believe that there's no better time to do that than in the beginning of the year. As a gemologist, I've come to realize that there are over 200 gemstones that have been discovered thus far. And out of the 200, some of us think that the rarest form are rubies, diamonds, emerald, and sapphires. These four categories, for those that have not listened or you haven't heard at the very beginning, if you go to previous episodes, you will notice that I go through and talk about the various gemstones and how gemstones are formed. So the world, out of the 200, there are four classes that people think are the most rarest of gemstones, which are diamonds, sapphires, rubies, and emeralds. But recently, they've come to find out there are other rarest or peculiar gemstones. And what has been recorded in the Guinness Book of Record as the most peculiar or the rarest of all gemstones is called a painite. And painite is not just the rarest gemstone, it says, but also the rarest mineral on earth. Again, in previous episode, I talk about gemstone formation, that some are formed from minerals. And it is, according to the Guinness Book of Record, that it was discovered, its first discovery was in the year 1951. That up until 2004, there were only 2 dozens, meaning only 24. That since 2004 to about now, when the article was written about a year ago, so 19 years later, they have only found about 1,000. That's how rare painites are. So my question now is, how do we become peculiar or rare like the painite? And I just want to give us a formula for us to think through, hopefully after this episode, to become that peculiar, a royal nation that the Bible says we are supposed to be. You see, statistics shows that by the time that you're hearing me, if it's right when this is released, which will be the 4th or the last Monday, of January 2024, that about greater than 60% of people that set New Year's resolution to change would have dropped it, right? By the end of January, greater than 60%. By the end of February, that number goes up to about 80%. And by March, it drops down to about 90% of people that set high achieving goals would have dropped it. So my question then is, what becomes of the by the end of the year, about 5 to 10% that keep it. Those are the people that I call the peculiar people, the rare gemstones. So, what makes these people become rare? In order to know that, we have to look at the standards between average and peculiar. See, the average will drop it, but the peculiar will stay. The qualities that make someone or something become peculiar, I see when it comes to gemstones, are two qualities: what I call intrinsic or innate and acquired. You see, even in the class of either an emerald or sapphire, depending on the environment with which it was discovered, it has its innate or intrinsic that makes us know that it's a diamond. But based on the region that it was discovered, it acquires certain qualities that makes it unique. So I am originally from Ghana, which was known as the Gold Coast. A gold that is extracted in Ghana looks very different from a gold that is extracted in India. Why is that? Its intrinsic factors display that it's a gold, but its acquired environment makes it look a little bit different. How you and I are going to be peculiar is to know the norm and then set up standards that make us different from the norm. And what I call core values is what is going to make you and I different. So we know the norm, but then we develop value system or qualities or characteristics that makes us different from what everybody else is doing. So how do you become peculiar is that there are values. I mean, if you Google up values right now, a plethora of words will come: honesty, integrity, time management. But what will make you and I peculiar is to sit down and say, what are my core values, intrinsically and acquired? Meaning, there are some people that naturally time management is not something that they have to learn. Organization is not something that they struggle with. That's intrinsic or innate factors. But then, as we learn along the journey of life, there are certain values that we see around us or other people around us begin to display that we acquire it. So, how do you become different from the norm? Again, take a look around you, list all the values, and say which one comes naturally and which ones do I need to acquire in 2024 so that I'll become different than the people that set up goals and then drop it. This is a statement that I found that I want to share with you from a gemologist. In a world where gemstones are a novelty, being this rare, relating to the painite, is something that surely gives these gems a high pedestal in the world. Uniqueness is the most valued thing in the world of gemstones. You and I are God's gemstones that He displays beautifully on the breastplate of the high priest, Jesus. Are you going to stand out on a pedestal in the world by developing a core value that is different? Or you're just going to blend in so nobody sees you? It's totally up to you. We're coming to the end of January where most people will drop their goals. Are you going to be most people, or are you going to be the peculiar 5 to 10% that stick it to the end? The ball is in your court. God bless you, and I hope you choose the path on how to become peculiar. See you in the next episode.